My name is Leah Carter, and this is the story of how my husband betrayed me during the most vulnerable moment of my life, and how I made sure he paid for every single second he treated me like I was already gone. It all started during my third round of chemotherapy. I wasn't even looking for trouble. I had just finished another brutal session and needed to pay for a test, so I opened our joint bank account, something I rarely did. But something inside me whispered to look deeper that day. That's when I saw them. 3 massive transfers, one of them for $346,720. My heart dropped. The name on the transaction: Savannah Blake, the same wellness consultant my husband Brandon had hired to take care of me during treatment. At first, Brandon was by my side. He came with me to chemo, held my hand, brought me juice, whispered that we'd get through it together. But after the 6th session, things changed. He said the hospital was too dark. That it drained him. That it traumatized him. He stopped coming. He told me he needed space. That he was going on a spiritual retreat to recharge so he could better support me. But while he was recharging, probably beside her, using my money, I was sitting alone, tubes in my arms, battling to stay alive. And that's when something inside me changed. Brandon thought I was dying. That I wouldn't live long enough to uncover what he was doing. But what he didn't realize was that even if my body was weak, my soul was waking up, and a woman who wakes up in pain is a force no one can stop. When he came back from his retreat, he had this glow. Like a man starting over. I was shrinking, exhausted, breaking, and he was blooming. He even hired Savannah to be my personal consultant. She showed up all soft-spoken, wearing flowing dresses and making ginger tea like some healing angel. But it didn't feel right. She knew too much. My test results, my meds, my schedule. She started filling the house, touching my things, storing her supplies next to my childhood letters. She was too present. And Brandon, he couldn't stop quoting her. Savannah says you need to think positively. Savannah thinks we should burn sage. Ask Savannah. I wasn't stupid. I just didn't have proof, yet. Then came the bank transfers. That's when the pieces clicked. In one of Brandon's poorly labeled laptop folders, Future Projects, I found a lease agreement for an upscale apartment across town. The renter, Savannah, but the one who paid, Brandon. A lakeside balcony, new appliances, everything hand-picked, with my money. The next day, I asked my sister to drive me there. I didn't say why. I sat in the car and watched. Brandon walked out of the building in designer clothes, laughing on the phone. Savannah followed, holding his hand, wearing my necklace. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just burned. From that moment on, I crafted a plan. Cold, calculated, meticulous. Savannah still visited me, smiling like she hadn't stolen my life. You need to stay calm, Leah, she said, with that gentle voice that made me want to scream. She made my bed like it was hers. She moved through the house like she was rehearsing to replace me. And I let her, because while she played nurse, I played chess. I created a hidden folder on the laptop, evidence. Every receipt, every screenshot, every transaction, every email Brandon forgot to delete. I gathered them all. Then I reached out to the lawyer who had helped with my mother's inheritance. I handed him the folder and told him everything. His face was stern. You've got a strong case. If you want to go forward, we can bury him. And so, I waited. Played weak. Let Brandon feel like the hero. Let Savannah serve tea with poison in her smile. Until one day, Savannah left her phone unlocked. And I saw everything. A message from Brandon: she's getting worse fast. Soon we'll have it all wrapped up. Savannah replied, finally. Then we can close things with the lawyer. I took a screenshot, emailed it to myself, sat back on the couch like nothing happened while Savannah tucked me in and wished me good night. The next morning, I installed a hidden camera in the hallway. A family friend owed my mom a favor. She didn't ask questions. What I recorded made my blood run colder than chemo ever could. Brandon and Savannah, in my kitchen, discussing how to speed up my death. She asked, "What are you waiting for? For her to die naturally?" He didn't even flinch. I sent that footage to my lawyer. He was stunned. I faked being sicker. Coughs. Weakness. Moans. I pretended to nap while they moved around the house like vultures. One night, Brandon handed me an envelope. "Just some forms," he said. "It's for a clinic in Toronto. Less aggressive treatment, but it's expensive. We need to move fast." The clinic didn't exist. The email was fake. He wanted to empty the last account still in my name, the one from my mother, the only thing I'd never touched. He thought I'd die before I ever knew. That same day, I brought everything to my lawyer. "He's trying to erase you," he said. I smiled. Not anymore. I dressed myself in my mother's red blouse. No scarf. No sick face. I froze the accounts. I activated locks. I filed complaints. I emailed every document to my lawyer, to myself, to cloud storage. Then I left Brandon a note on the door. "You thought I was weak. Now you'll see what strength really looks like." He came home to find the locks changed, the bank frozen, and everything unraveling. His phone blew up. Bank, lawyer, accountant. He tried calling me. Messaging. "Leah, what did you do? You're destroying everything out of spite." No, he destroyed everything. I just made sure he couldn't rebuild on my grave. Savannah tried to vanish, returned the car, changed her number, stepped down from her job. But Brandon found her, only to realize she was already talking to a lawyer. Fear makes people scatter. And me. I returned to the hospital. The doctor blinked at my scans. "You're looking stronger." I smiled. "I feel it." Brandon was summoned. 2 cases, 1 civil for misappropriation of funds. 1 criminal for fraud. He cried in court. Blamed Savannah. Said he was desperate. But the judge wasn't fooled. Desperate men don't buy $900 wine. 3 years. No parole. Loss of civil rights. Full restitution. Savannah. 2 years. My final chemo ended with the nurses applauding. The tumor had shrunk. Brandon now lives with his mother, the one who used to call me weak and now calls him a disgrace. And me. I sleep peacefully. My name is clean. My body is healing. I got a tattoo of an M on my wrist, for Marilyn, my mother. I walk in the park again. I cook for myself. I live without fear. And every time I remember what he did, I say, "He didn't kill me. He taught me how to live."